Yo, guys, what's going on? Welcome to another edition of the Altcoin Bosses. In today's video, we're going to have a look at the Metaverse coins, which coins are actually doing well over the past 24 hours, considering that Bitcoin and cryptocurrency across the board has been bleeding, okay? We're going to dive into some altcoins that you may be familiar with, such as Sandbox, okay? We're going to be considering Alice. We're going to be looking at other altcoins that are doing very well, specifically speaking about the Metaverse as well. Now, the Metaverse is a new thing, okay? And it's like the Matrix all over again. That's my opinion, you know, a digital way of doing things. All right. So I'm excited to talk about these coins because these coins, they, some of them, they're not cheap. OK, some of them have been doing very well. All right. I mean, for example, you've got the likes of, where is it? Well, let's look at Axis, for example. Axis is doing really well. That's moving up. And you've got the likes of Sand itself. I remember only talking about Sand a couple of weeks ago when it was just less than $1. Okay, so the Metaverse coins themselves, there is a support business behind it. And when I say that, I'm talking about, I don't know if anyone's going to call me out on this, but I believe that the Metaverse, the people supporting Metaverse coins are going against the trend. All right, because I noticed this disparity. I paid attention to the fact that, for example, normal altcoins like Solana and all the other altcoins of 1inch and every other altcoin that we normally talk about on a day-to-day basis. All right. Bitcoin was dropping yesterday. They were dropping, but these coins seem to be showing some serious gains. They were just not stopping. None of them was stopping at all. So in the last 24 hours, you can see, look at the increases. Yeah, 108%, 92, 35. Okay. Some of these coins are, they are quite cheap, but there is liquidity. Look at Sand. Okay. There is money in these coins. All right. Look at Starlink, man. Look at the size of this. It's crazy. They've got a lot of support. So I'm going to dive into some of these coins right now just to give you guys the heads up on what to be aware of when you're actually considering these kind of coins themselves. Okay, then. So you've got Bitcoin right here. A couple of things to talk about with Bitcoin, which I'll be discussing later on in the stream. But here are the Metaverse coin watch list that I've got so far. The winner for today, okay, is, let me just pull up Sand. Now, we've been talking about Sand quite a bit. Now, Sand is doing something very interesting. All right. So if I just zoom out on Sand on the 1 hour time frame, you can see Sand yesterday was just not stopped moving to the upside. OK, Bitcoin was taking a bleed, but this coin just kept on going up and up. It wasn't stopping at all. OK, now that's just telling me because the Metaverse, it's all starting to become a trend right now. And it's a whole new way of cryptocurrency. It's an exciting time in cryptocurrency. All right. And this is the result of it. People are showing support with this coin. Now, looking at the way it's behaving right now, the understanding is this: when everything else starts to make moves to the upside and people are not in so much fear about where price is going to go across the board, this is the coin that you want to be paying attention to. OK, so looking at the actual 1 hour time frame itself, you can see that they've come away from this small W formation, shifting out of the zone. Okay, now we've got ourselves 2 hits to the high right here. Now, what's important is this: we would naturally expect this coin now to pull back, to come down and recover some of this pool of liquidity in this zone. But there is a lot of support behind this coin. If you drop onto the daily time frame itself, you'll see bright as day that this coin is just trying its hardest to keep hitting its all-time highs non-stop. Okay, so back when this coin got listed, you can see that it's just done a fantastic job of progressively moving higher and higher. Now, because it's in price discovery, there's nothing for us to go by. But if you look closely, you can see that we have got this big pattern forming. Okay, and the reason why this pattern is forming as opposed to believing that a big M formation is forming is because price is still above the 5 and the 13 EMA on the daily time frame. Okay, you can see that momentum is coming into the chart. They are expanding the moving averages and they are moving higher. So Sand will just progressively move slowly and slowly to the upside. Okay, once it breaks this zone in the chart right here, which it already has done today. Okay, once it breaks this point, we're probably going to see another pump up similar to what we've seen in this zone right here. And then we're going to start seeing some potential, not resistance, but points in the chart where they would need to pull it back to regulate the intention to the retail trader that they can get back in at a cheaper point. All right. My projection for Sand is $5. That's where I'm expecting Sand to go to. And what I'll be expecting is a big push to the upside. And we are going to see some behavior in this zone. So in light of this cyclical pattern up, we could see it come up, retrace ever so slightly, and then just make one more pump to the $5 mark and then stabilize and then continue back up then. Because what we don't have to the left of the chart, guys, is any vector candles that they can come back to, okay? All I'm seeing in sand is just pushes up, up, and up, okay? Any red vector candle we've seen, they've recovered it and then moved back away from the zone. So it's very important that you keep an eye on sand, okay? RNDR is doing fantastic. Again, daily time frame, you can see red vector candle has recovered the whole thing and now it's trying to shift out of the zone. Another coin that is making all-time highs. It's recovered its previous point, the last high that it made, and it's just making these wild gains to the upside. This is all support coming into the chart. All right. Yes, we do have these pools of liquidity right here. They may even pull it back ever so slightly before they can actually come and make way towards the $6 mark. When you're paying attention to coins making all-time highs, always make reference to the whole and the half numbers, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, that's what you want to be paying attention to, because those are the key points in the chart where people set orders and anticipate price to go to. So the next pool of liquidity, or should I say the next zone that they will trigger interest at, is the $5 mark. They already took the $5 mark but pulled straight back to it. Made the all-time high right here at $5.50, well, $5.26, and they pulled straight back from it. So if you drop down to the 1 hour time frame, you will see that at that point in the chart, they have themselves a violet vector candle, which is them adding more positions, or should I say building longs at lower prices at the highest possible point in the chart. And you can see, look at the beautiful pattern right here. You have got the rise from the last consolidation down here, rise up, retrace, continuation to the upside. So if they do decide to pump up this coin later on today or in the coming week, we should expect them to end up at $6 at minimum, because of the way they are actually building these positions. The fact that they're not breaking down below the 50 EMA, not even touching the 200 EMA, is giving me the understanding that momentum is favoring in this coin to the upside. Okay, looking at other coins as well that have done well. Let me just pull up Boson. Okay, Boson's doing very well as well. As you can see, they're doing the same thing as what where was it? I just had it. Boson's doing. Okay, so look at how Boson and where I just had it. What was that coin that I just had? I can't believe I'm losing my mind. Is it RNDR? There it is. RNDR. Render token. Forming a base. Getting ready to break out. Boson doing exactly the same thing. All right. So we've got ourselves rise, retrace. Rise, retrace. Continuation out. Okay. When you dive into this actual candlestick itself, you'll see on the 15-minute time frame that we are likely to have some vector zones in the chart. You see a red vector candle right there that they've come from. But then, of course, in this area right here, all-time high, and there's not really any vector candles in that zone. So they are looking to try and achieve a price discovery aspect to it. But we need to be mindful. This move, Boson's move, is not as good as what Render token is. Okay? Render has, of course, liquidity in this area right here that it wants to try and tap to come back to. And then you've got the violet vector candle right there in the zone. So just keep an eye on these two coins, ladies and gentlemen, because they are going to do the cyclical move to the upside because they've done the drop. Now they've come back up with aggression to take out the next few zones. One of the bigger coins out there, okay? The bigger the coin, I guess, the more money is used to accumulate a lot of it. And you can see not that much is happening in terms of previous pools of liquidity for them to recover. If I drop onto the 1 hour time frame, you can see there's nothing up here until they get towards this zone in the chart. All right. So they're going to want to start doing something about this zone. The fact that it's holding at the 800 EMA on the 1 hour time frame is very important because look, the last time they hit the 800 EMA, all right, was a long time ago. All right. They're sorry. As it's a new coin, just look at it. They've just non-stop been going up. It's not actually tapped its 800 EMA because of how new this coin is. So this is where we are going to know the true worth of this coin at the 800 EMA. As you can see, we've got ourselves a mini pattern right here. Okay. Now, will this pattern play out? We need to wait for price to break above the 50 EMA and the 5 and the 13 EMA to cross over. So just be mindful of this coin. All right. It shows a lot of strength. But just be prepared. This may be a little bit of a false move, retrace, back down, continuation to the upside. Okay, so just be careful. They're forming a pattern with ILV. Don't even know how to say it. All right. MBOX. I like MBOX. All right. Mbox has been going pretty well, but it's been quite choppy. All right. Now we've got these zones in the chart. $10. They're going to try and work their hardest to get back to this zone. Okay. As you can see, the pump's coming up. Support is stepping in. Okay. If it bleeds and goes down any lower, then okay. Then we have to wait for things to reset. Okay. But the fact is they're holding this coin for quite some time in this zone. There's a reason for it. They're preparing this coin. Look, spikes up, spikes up, spikes up, and they come back down and hold the zone. So keep an eye out on Mbox. Okay. ICE was doing pretty well. Okay, but then it's taken a bleed to the downside. But does that mean they're actually getting it now cheaper than what they normally could? Okay. Look at this red vector candle. As it stands right now, you can see it isn't traded much. All right, it does have a lot of low liquidity, but that's because of the exchange that it's on as well. Okay, so if this coin was to be put on Binance, it would be a different story. We'd see a lot more action on it. Remark, I like to call it. Again, doing the same thing as Boson and Render Token. All right, coming back down to form support and base at the 50 EMA. Okay, so we've got rise, retrace, continuation up. What you're looking for is when the 50 EMA and the 200 EMA come together and contract, this is where most of the accumulation is going to appear. Because then what we're waiting for is an expansion away. So we're waiting for it to contract completely. And then when it moves out of the zone, that would be the expansion. And we would then see price go above the 50 EMA and the 5 and the 13 EMA starting to expand out, similar to this sort of behavior right here. And then we see price continuing higher. $40 is the point in the chart where I'm expecting them to end up. Okay, because then that will be another attempt at the all-time high. Okay, cool. All right then, so in relation to the Metaverse coins themselves, guys, all right, some of them are really cheap, some of them are doing really well. Looking at the Metaverse top performers for the day, let's actually have a look at UX. What is UX? Although it's quite a cheap coin. UX, all right, so it's on Uniswap. Again, low liquidity, can't really get much from that. Okay, let me just pull up another coin. Neos, that's it. Neos, I do believe I have Neos on here. Do I? No, I don't. Let's have a look at it. Neos credits, Honeyswap. Yeah, low liquidity on this platform, but it is actually making ground. I need to actually look at... that's it. Let me pull up Axis a second. Axis takes a spike to the 50 EMA, comes back up. All right, that's what I'm expecting Axis to do. Now, Axis is a strong coin, in my opinion, given that it's one of the bigger players in the gaming aspect of crypto. So it's seen nice movements to the upside. We've got cyclical patterns coming into play on the daily, the rise, the retrace, rise up. Now we've got another attempt at the 50 EMA. It seems to respect the 50 EMA quite well, but it's only respected it once. Now is the time where we're going to see it hold its worth at this point. The red vector candle is giving me the impression that they tried to spike down lower, induce the shorts, recover the previous zones of liquidity, and then they brought price all the way back up. So keep an eye out on Axis, guys, because if it's showing support at this point right now, then we're going to see price drift back up again. Okay, so just be mindful. As much as you might think that this could be an M formation playing out, just look at every time it makes a high, it keeps on taking out the previous one. Okay, so it is favoring higher prices. All they're doing is they're just marking it down just to get it cheaper at the highest possible point in the chart. Okay, Engine Coin, again, same as what Render Token's doing, what Boson's doing. Very interesting behavior. So any coins that are pulling away from the 50 EMA on the daily and they've come all the way back down to test those zones but pull straight back up, there is a lot of strength in these coins. Something is going to break with these coins. All right, because if you look, we have come back up to this point, but we failed to break above it. Yes, it does look like a big M formation is forming, but we're only going to know the true validity of this move is if this zone right here, which you can see a nice big W formation forming, if the retrace holds and then continues back up to take back the previous wick in the chart. Okay, so we could project Engine Coin to coming up to $5 once it breaks out of this zone right here. So that'll be very interesting if we do realize that in the charts. Other than that, guys, just have a quick look at all the other altcoins in the altcoin bosses again. Okay, Gala, absolutely smashing it. Okay, look what we said about Gala yesterday. Yeah, made that projection in the video. Go and watch it. We recovered the previous wicks. They've shifted out of the zone. They did the move to the upside. Happy days. You know, go and watch yesterday's videos on the altcoins. All right, it will put things into perspective for you. Crow. Look at Crow. Not stopping. Moving to the upside. Okay. Couple of the winners at the tops. I mean, look, Win's doing pretty well. Okay, but it does have a lot of ground to come back to, as you can see right there. All right, this token, of course, is linked in with Tron, but we've got a lot of movement to come back to. It's a big gap right here that they are going to look to try and fill at some point. Theta's doing a little bit of struggling, to be honest with you. It's consolidating in this zone. This W formation seems to get wider and wider. They came back up and recovered this previous zone right here, and then we're trying to see if they're going to come back up and hit these previous pools of liquidity in the chart. So just keep an eye out on Theta. Alice again, this coin, okay, is getting ready for something. All right, they are not breaking away from this zone. Every time they come down, they end up finishing higher. Something is going to happen. They're going to come back up towards this zone in the chart. Okay, $40 easy, because this is the imbalance in the chart. There are orders sat in this zone right here. Okay, so they're going to slowly move price back up. Okay, they've clearly shown support in this range, so just keep an eye out on that. Shiba. Now this coin, since it's made its all-time high over here, it's just bled down. Now it's testing the 50 EMA, and this is what you need to see happening, guys. If you don't see any retraces back to the 50 EMA and price just keeps on continuing higher, you're, of course, getting set up for a retrace back down. Because the traders that buy at the highest point in the chart are the ones that are going to pay the price for the traders that want to step in at this point, because their liquidation points are going to be the liquidity that is used to buy coins at these points in the chart. All right? So wait for these bounces away from the 50 EMA. Everything's making moves up, especially across the altcoins, and now they're pulling all the way back down. So just keep an eye out on Shiba, because she's getting ready to do something very interesting. Okay? Matic. Same again, 50 EMA. Everything is on the 50 EMA. Comp. Stuck at the 50 EMA. I really like this coin, right? Because it does support well. But if it does decide to break down lower, okay, then we could be coming down to these next full zones of liquidity right here. But what you need to be mindful of is we've got these liquidity pools right here. So what we're waiting for is we're waiting for the market maker to initially step in to bring comp out of the zone. Okay, once it breaks out of this zone, because look at the 50, it's flat. There's nothing happening. All right. Once it comes away from this zone, the first pool will be hit. Once they hit that first pool of liquidity up here, they will retrace, which at this point, the 50 EMA would have actually shown some curvature, moved up. Okay, so then price would come back down and test it. And then the 200 EMA would cross right over and then set the precedent for a move to the upside. All right, cool. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you are new to the channel, be sure to like and subscribe. I do these little quick update videos every day. I won't say this is a quick update. It's 18 minutes long, but it just gives you the heads up on coins in and around the metaverse, and of course the altcoin bosses as well. I'll be going live very shortly, guys, so make sure you pass through to the live so we can talk about what's been going on with Bitcoin. All right. Other than that, guys, mad love and respect to all of you. Have yourselves a wonderful day. Take care of yourselves. Peace.